Somebody listening right now has been crying in silence. Somebody's been fighting battles nobody knows about. Somebody's been asking, why me? Why this? Why now? And before you even finish this thought, let me tell you something straight. You are not unseen. Your pain is not ignored. Your struggle is not wasted. God knows exactly what you're carrying. I want you to stay with me all the way through this message, because by the time we reach the end, you will not look at your pain the same way. You're going to understand why you're going through what you're going through. And more importantly, you're going to understand what God is preparing for you on the other side of it. When life hits you hard, it's easy to think you're alone. It's easy to think nobody understands what's going on inside your heart. You smile in front of people, act strong on the outside, but inside, you're tired. You're tired of fighting, tired of hoping, tired of trying. But listen to me. God saw every moment you didn't think you'd survive. You ever been in a place where you said, God, I'm doing everything I can. I'm trying to be strong. I'm trying to stay positive. But why is the weight getting heavier? That's because struggle isn't a sign of God's absence. It's a sign of your growth. You don't grow on the mountaintop. You grow in the valley. You don't build strength in comfort. You build strength in pressure. Diamonds aren't created in peace. They are created in heat, pressure, and darkness. So if your life feels like that right now, don't panic. You're in the process of becoming something greater than you ever imagined. Every disappointment, every tear, every setback, God uses it. And I know how it feels to wonder, why doesn't God remove the struggle sooner? Because the struggle is teaching you something success never could. Struggle teaches you courage. Struggle teaches you discipline. Struggle teaches you faith. Struggle gives you a testimony that will help somebody else someday. And let me tell you something important. Your struggle is shaping you for rooms you haven't entered yet. God is preparing doors that your current version of you can't walk through until the process is complete. So don't think for a second that God doesn't see your frustration. He sees it. He knows it. He feels it. And he's working behind the scenes in ways you don't even realize. When the time is right, he will open doors that no man can shut. When the time is right, he will restore what you lost. When the time is right, he will turn your tears into testimony. Listen, pain doesn't mean God left you. Pain means God is shaping you for a purpose bigger than your understanding. You've survived days you thought would break you. You've walked through storms that should have destroyed you. You've risen from situations you thought you'd never escape. Your pain is not unseen because every tear, every sacrifice, every silent battle you've fought is recorded for a divine purpose. And sometimes you don't even realize how closely heaven has been watching you. You think you're walking alone because no one around you understands what you feel, but God has been tracking every step, every breath, every sleepless night where you whispered prayers you didn't have the strength to say out loud. The truth is, the moments you thought were forgotten are the moments God paid the most attention to. The nights when you cried into your pillow, the days when you forced yourself to smile even though your heart felt heavy, the times when you kept moving forward even though you were falling apart inside, none of that went unnoticed. You may have felt invisible to people, but you were never invisible to God. He watched you pick yourself up after every disappointment, watched you forgive people who didn't apologize, watched you try again after failing, and he took note of the strength it took for you to keep going. There are times in life when the pain feels so personal that you start to believe nothing good can come out of it. You look at your struggles, your setbacks, your heartbreaks, and you wonder why things seem so unfair. You wonder why God didn't stop certain things from happening, or why he allowed you to go through things that almost broke you. But the part you don't see is the purpose behind the pain. Pain is not a sign that God abandoned you. It's often the evidence that you're being prepared for something greater. Pain stretches you. Pain matures you. Pain teaches you things comfort never could. And even when it doesn't make sense, even when you don't understand what the pain is doing in your life, God understands the whole picture. You see the moment. He sees the future. You see the hurt. He sees the healing. You see the struggle. He sees the strength being built inside you. So Sometimes God allows you to sit in situations that feel unfair because he's preparing you for blessings that require a different version of you. You can't walk into certain doors with the same mindset, the same habits, the same level of faith you had before. So he uses pain to shape you, mold you, sharpen you, and position you. What feels like breaking is actually building. What feels like loss is actually alignment. What feels like delay is actually protection. Pain has a purpose that becomes clearer with time, and even though you may not see it now, you will look back one day and realize God was doing something strategic. And let's be real, some of the strongest parts of you were born in your darkest seasons. You learned resilience because life forced you to get back up. You learned self-respect because certain people walked away. You learned patience because things didn't happen on your timeline. You learned faith because you had no other choice. Every tear taught you something. Every disappointment revealed something. Every setback pushed you toward something. None of it was random. None of it was wasted. God specializes in using the very things that hurt you to elevate you. Sometimes the blessing doesn't show up as something new. Sometimes the blessing is who you became through the struggle. You might not even realize how far you've come because you've been in survival mode for so long. You kept moving even when you were exhausted. You kept hoping even when your hope was fading. You kept believing even when it didn't look like anything was changing. That persistence was seen. That perseverance was recognized. That effort was recorded in heaven. God doesn't overlook people who refuse to give up. He doesn't forget the ones who stayed humble, stayed kind, stayed faithful, even when life didn't give them the same energy back. He sees you. He knows you. And he's shaping something in you that is worth every moment of pain you've endured. And maybe you're in a season right now where it feels like everything is hitting you at once. Maybe you're carrying burdens you never asked for. Maybe you're tired of being strong. Maybe you're wondering when your peace is going to return, when your breakthrough is going to show up, when your prayers are going to be answered. But even in this place, God knows. He knows the weight you carry. He knows the battles you're fighting behind closed doors. He knows the smile you fake in front of others. And he knows how much strength it takes for you to just get out of bed some days. He's not blind to your struggle. He's not deaf to your prayers. He's not distant from your pain. He's closer than you think, working in ways you can't see, arranging things behind the scenes, preparing a shift you didn't even realize was coming. Everything you survived is evidence that God has been with you the whole time. The things that should have broken you didn't. The things that should have destroyed you didn't. The things that should have taken you out didn't. You're still here. You're still breathing. You're still fighting. That's not an accident. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That is divine protection. That is divine purpose. That is divine strength covering your life even when you didn't feel it. And it's important to understand that God does not waste pain. He multiplies it, transforms it, and uses it, not just for your growth, but for your calling. Your pain becomes someone else's hope. Your struggle becomes someone else's inspiration. Your survival becomes someone else's faith builder. The things you went through are not just part of your story, they're part of your assignment. One day you'll meet someone who needs the exact wisdom you gained from the exact pain you endured. And in that moment, you'll understand why God allowed you to experience it. Your pain has been seen, your struggle has been counted, and your strength has been acknowledged in heaven more than you realize. God has not overlooked a single moment of what you've been through. He knows exactly what he's preparing you for, and everything you faced was shaping you into the person capable of receiving it. Your tears have purpose. Your battles have purpose. Your resilience has purpose. You may not fully see it now, but every step, every hardship, every moment you didn't give up was leading you somewhere you were meant to struggle is not punishment. It's preparation. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you'll stop thinking that life is picking on you and start realizing that life is preparing you. There are moments when you feel like the weight on your shoulders is too heavy, like the pressure surrounding you is too much, like everything is hitting you at once, and you start wondering if somehow you've done something wrong. You start asking yourself, why am I going through all of this? Why is everything so hard for me? Why does everybody else seem to be moving forward? while I'm stuck right here fighting for air. What you don't see in those moments is the way God is shaping you quietly, intentionally, and purposefully. You think it's punishment because it hurts, because it's uncomfortable, because it pushes you beyond what you thought you were capable of handling. But preparation has always required pressure, and greatness has always required discomfort. You can't expect to walk into a higher level of life with the same strength, the same discipline, the same character you had before. Life doesn't elevate you unless you're built for the elevation. So when you face struggle, it's not because God is trying to break you, it's because He's trying to prepare you for something greater than your current level of strength could handle. You don't build muscle without resistance. You don't develop faith without uncertainty. You don't grow courage without fear. And you don't develop endurance without struggle. Every challenge you're facing is shaping a piece of you. The late nights where you're fighting through anxiety are building your ability to trust. The days where you're pushing through exhaustion are building your resilience. The disappointment that hits you out of nowhere is building your patience. All of it is preparation. And sometimes the struggle looks like delay. You pray, but nothing seems to move. You work hard, but nothing seems to change. You show up, but the progress feels invisible. But delay is preparation in disguise. God is not denying you, He's developing you. If He gave you everything you wanted right now, you might not be ready to handle it. Blessings come with responsibility. Elevation comes with pressure. Success comes with weight. And if you haven't been shaped for that weight yet, the blessing could collapse you. So instead of giving it to you too early, God sends preparation through struggle. He strengthens the parts of you that will be required in the next season of your life. He strips away the people who can't go with you. He breaks habits that would destroy your future. He builds a foundation inside you so solid that when the blessing comes, you won't crumble under it. And the crazy thing is, struggle often feels like you're losing everything when really you're gaining everything that matters. You're gaining wisdom. You're gaining strength. You're gaining clarity. You're gaining discipline. You're gaining the ability to stand alone if you have to. Preparation doesn't always look pretty. Sometimes preparation looks like heartbreak. Sometimes preparation looks like rejection. Sometimes preparation looks like failure. But none of those moments are wasted. Failure teaches you direction. Rejection teaches you redirection. Heartbreak teaches you self-worth. You learn what to hold on to and what to walk away from. You learn what deserves your energy and what drains your soul. You learn what matters and what never did. That's preparation. And let's be honest, you wouldn't have become half the person you are today without the struggles you survived. Think about it. The situations that almost broke you ended up teaching you the most. The people who betrayed you taught you loyalty by contrast. The moments that forced you to start over taught you resilience. The seasons where you had nothing taught you how to appreciate everything. The storms that tried to destroy you ended up strengthening you. Struggle has been your greatest teacher, your silent mentor, your unexpected guide. You might not have liked the lessons, but you needed every one of them. There are certain blessings that only become accessible after you've developed certain qualities. You can't handle abundance without gratitude. You can't handle leadership without humility. You can't handle opportunity without preparation. You can't handle spiritual elevation without internal discipline. And you can't handle destiny without struggle building you into someone capable of carrying it. That's why struggle shows up. Not to punish you, but to position you. Not to weaken you, but to strengthen you. Not to break you, but to build you. One of the hardest things to accept is that struggle often arrives right before breakthrough. Because right before your life changes, you feel the most pressure. Right before a door opens, the hallway feels the longest. Right before God lifts you, He tests your patience, your faith, your discipline, and your willingness to keep going, even when nothing around you makes sense. The struggle is the stretching of your spirit, the refining of your character, the sharpening of your focus. You can't step into a big future with small faith. You can't claim big blessings with fragile character. You can't carry big purpose with weak preparation. So the struggle you're facing is confirmation that you're being prepared, not punished. There's a version of you on the other side of this struggle that you haven't even met yet. A stronger you, a wiser you, a more confident, grounded, spiritually aware, resilient you. The struggle is the bridge to that version. You can't skip the process. You can't fast forward the growth. You can't bypass the lessons. You have to walk through them. But every moment you endure is shaping you into the person capable of stepping into the life you've been praying for. And deep down, you know this. You know you've survived things you thought would destroy you. You've come out of storms stronger than you entered. You've risen from places you thought you'd never escape. You've rebuilt yourself after experiences that shattered you. That wasn't punishment. That was preparation. Preparation for the opportunities, the blessings, the relationships, the doors, the seasons that God has planned for you. You had to become this version of yourself to walk into what's coming. You had to toughen up in places you didn't know were weak. You had to grow in ways you didn't expect. You had to learn lessons you didn't want to learn. But everything you went through was preparing you for everything you asked God. For your breakthrough is tied to your endurance, because every blessing, every open door, every answered prayer has a moment attached to it. And that moment is only reached by those who refuse to quit before they get there. What you're going through right now may feel heavy, confusing, exhausting, and unfair, but it is not without purpose. The struggle you're facing isn't a sign that God forgot you. It's a sign that you're closer to the breakthrough than you think. Breakthrough doesn't come to the strongest or the smartest. It comes to the one who endures when everything in them wants to give up. You might feel like you're moving slowly. You might feel like the progress is invisible. You might feel like you're